Yesterday turned out to be a bit of a trap day in the crypto market. And what I mean by that is we actually saw some long leverage positions get sucked very close to price. And then, of course, when we started to move to the downside, we created some long leverage liquidations, sending ADA price and the price of the crypto market down. But there is a little bit of a silver lining when it comes to this, because something that has been present before is now even bigger. And this is a great sign because ADA's done very well with this here in the past. What I do want to talk about as well is something very important that took place for BTC, which is great for the crypto market. And we do need to discuss something major that is taking place today that has a very high likelihood of moving price one way or the other. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So looking at ADA price currently, we're sitting at about 79.80 or so. And you guys can see a lot of volatility over the past 24 hours. ADA was actually as high as about 86.50 and about as low as 77 cents. So that's a very wild range. I mean, you're talking about a range of about 12% over these last 24 hours. And what we actually started to do was we actually liquidated some shorts on the way to the upside. But then, of course, like I was talking about, we did in fact see these long positions start to creep in behind here, try to take advantage of the movements. And then when we dropped, we caused liquidations all the way down here. But now what I will say is that shorts have once again decided to chase price and try to continue to push the price down. And what I think is interesting about this is we're actually seeing an even bigger ratio towards the short side. Right now, it's about a 7% imbalance to the short side. Okay. That's bigger than it was before. That's bigger than it was yesterday. And why this is in fact so important is you guys can see open interest for ADA is still incredibly high, $919 million. So now there is even more fuel for upside movements. Hopefully that makes sense for people. Now, what I will say is that, guys, we're not doing anything crazy here right now. When we look at our Wyckoff accumulation model, we're still playing into this perfectly. We are still in this SOS phase right here. We haven't escaped this yet. We're chopping around. We're kind of deciding, if we're going to make our way, if we're going to continue on this extension here. But understand this does take time. Remember how long we stuck around in this LPS phase before making this extension. So this is all frankly playing out perfectly. And I think there's something that took place yesterday that did in fact help us. And this is in terms of BTC, because BTC experienced a drop along with everything else. It actually got down to about, 100,008 or so, 100,750. And what this did in fact do was it closed our CME gap from Thursday into Friday. All right, I had questions about this, if this would in fact get closed. It did get closed, which is a great sign, because a lot of times the market wants these to close before it can make a further move to the upside. And then we did see BTC bounce up into the mid 103K range. All right. Now, I will say that there are still two CME gaps here that need to be paid attention to. We do have one from about 96.5 or so up to about 97.7. And then we also have one at about 91.6 all the way up to 93.8 or so. Now, what I will say is you don't always need to close every single one. Sometimes you do. Sometimes the market wants to make it happen, but that's not always the way that it works. Sometimes the market just gets a little too much run in its pants. I don't know. That's a weird. It gets a little too much momentum and it just kind of runs away from those gaps. And now what I will say is that despite the volatility yesterday, despite the drop in price, we saw some addition take place. All right. Yes, we did have some unloading from Fidelity. We had some unloading from Grayscale, from Bitwise, from Invesco, but BlackRock was once again adding, which is a very consistent trend that they've had as of late. Yesterday was a $69 million day. And this is very consistent with most of the days that they had last week. They were pretty small, but you're seeing a continued trend there, which is a great sign. Michael Saylor added BTC as well. So there were some people that were accumulating along the way here. All right. Now, we do have something big that is coming today that will likely affect the crypto markets, and that is the CPI report. I messed up. It's not tomorrow. It's today. And today we could see some volatility off of this, because right now what the expectations are is that core and CPI are supposed to both rise by 0.3%. Now, if you guys remember last month, we actually had a declining month in terms of CPI. All right. We had a deflationary month, which is surprising. We don't get a lot of those months. So what this is expected to show is that tariffs are impacting prices and they're impacting spending and all these things. And what we could see is again, another month where we're potentially dropping in terms of CPI. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm not getting that far yet. I think last month was probably a little bit of an anomaly, but I think that 0.3% is probably just a little bit hot for what we've been seeing. So we're going to have to watch and wait and see how the market does, in fact, digest this data. Now, this is taking place at 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern. So right now, what you're seeing is basically the market kind of go through a little bit of volatility in preparation for this. ADA right now at about 80 cents, seeing some ups and downs. So we're not in a bad spot right now. We're still just kind of following our structure, which is a great sign. And that's why I've told people, don't get too excited yet, right? There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be chop along the way here. Don't do anything crazy. But today probably will create either some volatility to the upside or volatility to the downside. Right now, again, leverage is showing us exactly that. If we look at this in terms of BTC as well, and showing the exact same thing. BTC did do some long leverage liquidations yesterday, but again, look what the shorts did. Right now, BTC is sitting right on the edge of some major short leverage liquidations. That's a great sign. And what I did want to show you guys as well is we're still at this point where USDT dominance is just kind of chopping around down here. We haven't seen any drastic changes. We still have the total market cap of crypto broken out. We still have BTC dominance, still putzing around these ranges, still below our trend. So we're actually in a very good spot where, again, we could see altcoins go on a bit of a run. Yesterday was basically a little bit of an altcoin shakeout, if you will. And luckily, most altcoins held up pretty well. ADA held up pretty well, just kind of sticking to the range that we have been in. So that's what I would say about today. Just watch for this report. It's probably going to dictate a lot of direction. It's going to dictate a lot of what institutional money does today. And I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think we're going to get today? Do we get a hot report? Do we get a cool report? Is this something that can create a little bit of a spark again for the crypto market? So have a great day. Show your love below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.